Hey, everybody, welcome to the Wooden Report. We have a really important post today, and it's going to affect me, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect all of social media and all of the internet. So I ask you to please watch the entire video. You're going to learn some stuff, and it's going to scare you. So if I was to say that when people are protected, it's a law. When people are targeted, it's a weapon. And what we're seeing coming down the wire, it can be used as a weapon. And a lot of you don't fully understand what that means because you think that it doesn't affect you. Well, this is it. Government writes the laws and votes on them. So when those same people making the laws violate your trust, should voters not have the final say? We trust politicians to make the best decisions for us. That's why we elect a politician. The system only works when we believe that those decisions are going to be fair and they cannot be abused. But when that trust is broken, should we not be more like Switzerland, where the citizens have the final say on what bills are passed? We look at Switzerland and citizens can vote directly on laws. If enough people demand a vote, the public, not the politicians, decide whether a new law passes. That means the final say does not sit with government, it sits with people like you, and it sits with me. That sounds like a pretty good idea, don't you think? So let's take a look at what's happening in Canada. I don't have to tell you what's happened in the last 5 or 10 years. You guys already know. But there are several bills being introduced. They are going to have detrimental effects on what you say, what you see, what you share, and what can even be displayed on the internet. And that includes social media, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So let's take a look at these bills really quick. Okay, I'm going to run through them as quickly as I can. The first one is Bill C-11. It's basically what you can see online. Platforms can push content. So Facebook, TikTok, when you open it up, you don't get to choose what you see. They choose for you. They prioritize things. There will be no search bar. I mean, imagine not having a search bar so you can't look up a certain article. They control the narrative. And this is, when you open up the app, you don't see everything. You see what's being pushed by that app. And that's what it comes down to. It's not about removing content. It's about what content you see first. And that should be pretty alarming. Okay. But that's going to be very minor in these next few bills. You see, C-18, the news access. This is going to eliminate your ability to leave links to news sites. And news people that have Instagram and TikTok, you're going to have to be approved. If they don't want you to do what you're doing, you will not be seen. They will shut you down. So the only ones that you're going to see are government approved. Think of the only content you're going to ever get your news from is the CBC. Let that sink in. Individual content creators, a thing of the past. You see, it's not about removing all the news. It's about limiting the shows and what's in front of you at the time. And if people only see certain news sources, that's what they're going to trust. Do you see how the system is manipulated? C-63 is a freedom of speech. It's what you can say online. It's breaking it down. Now, these two are the most serious. Bill C-15. C-15 is the exemptions bill. There's a whole bunch of jargon and all this stuff, but when you read the fine print, and you ever wonder why conservatives vote no, this is why they vote no. Okay, now listen up. Some individuals or companies may bypass rules. See, a member of parliament can go to their friends who own a business. Let's say they're the Arrive scam app, and they can work for the government, but they don't have to follow any rules or any guidelines as long as they don't violate federal law. Like, what the hell? Now, what are they doing? They're protecting themselves against accountability. Think about that. All of these scandals that we've had in the last 12 years under this government would be a thing of the past with this law. And they refuse to answer the questions in Parliament about it. Interesting, huh? This could not possibly be abused at all. So it's not about removing the rules. It's about who can follow them. And if some people get a pass, the system stops being equal. Good for some, not for others. Do you see it? Now, the most important bill is Bill C9. They call it the hate speech. And let's be honest, nobody wants hate speech. I'm all for that. But the problem is when they fail to define what hate speech is. And this is the craziest part. The government would never answer that question. And the House of Commons, they would never answer that question. So what did they do? They shut down debate. They shut down the ability to ask questions and have them be accountable. So when you have a bill that's being passed and they want to shut it down, that should send up alarm bells, because what is in that bill? Well, think of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have the freedom of speech and we have the freedom of religion, and it includes what's in those. But this bill is going to slowly take pieces of those rights away from you. And I'll give you an example. Freedom of speech. That's obvious. You can't call somebody a name. But wait, what if you speak out against somebody? What if you post something online that speaks against somebody's narrative? Where have we heard this before? You see how this is going? It also has flags. It could be bumper stickers. It could be the religious cross that you wear around your neck. How many places in the last few years will not let you wear a cross to work? And the worst, the poppy. Imagine not being able to wear a poppy, but you think this is far-fetched, but do we say Merry Christmas anymore? It's already started. Imagine wearing a cross outside and somebody gets offended and you go home in these. That's serious, folks, because that's what's in this law. And guess what? They shut down debate, and very quietly, they pushed it through. I didn't have a say. You didn't have a say. The government officials that we trust made that decision for us. And when we started to question them, the government that we trust shut it down and pushed it through without our permission, without it being debated. You don't pass a law, and then after the law has been passed, explain what that law is. Does that make any sense to anybody? Canadians have the right to speech and the freedom of religion, but those rights only exist if they're protected. And right now, it's looking like they're no longer protected. We don't have rights in Canada. But when the laws are written so badly, they stop protecting citizens and they start protecting the government. That's what's happening here. All these bills that I mentioned, that's what's happening. So I ask you, when people are protected, it's the law. But when people are targeted, it's a weapon. So I'll ask you a final time. Should Canadian citizens have the final say in the making of new laws and which bills are passed? I really want to hear from you, because if we keep trusting the system, even when that system is being questioned and that system has violated the Canadian Charter of Rights, do you really trust the system to protect you? Or is the system going to protect themselves and use the laws as a weapon against you? I want to hear your comments in the feed. This is a big one. There's a lot of things happening. So, yeah.